So let's talk a bit about the Supabase integration in WeWeb. In this video, we're first going to talk about what the Supabase integration does because it's pretty nifty how it works behind the scenes. We're then going to cover how you can install it in your WeWeb projects. And lastly, how you can create secure table views and APIs on top of Supabase all within WeWeb without having to worry about RLS. So let's dive into our first topic, what the Supabase integration does. So if you imagine that this is your WeWeb interface, and this is also known as the front end of your app. So this is basically what the user sees when they visit your application. It's what they see in their browser. And then over here, let's say you have your Supabase, and this is also known as the backend of your application. So this is kind of like the warehouse of your app. Your users don't see this, but it's core to powering your application. And when you have the Supabase integration installed in your WeWeb project, basically in the middle here will be your WeWeb server. And the reason this can give you some pretty cool things that you can do is that whenever you're using Supabase, how you add restrictions to Supabase is via what is termed RLS. And if you're using Supabase right now, you probably know exactly what RLS is. But if you're not too sure, it stands for Role Level Policies. And to be honest with you, if you're not a native developer and engineer, role level policies can be an absolute nightmare to set up. And role level policies are how you can control who can access what data in your Supabase. And why this is handy is it means that inside of WeWeb, you can set up all of your security restrictions that you want, all within WeWeb's interface, meaning that you no longer have to worry about controlling RLS, which will be music to your ears if you don't like RLS. And so I mentioned that we can set up our role level restrictions here, all within WeWeb, but we can also do everything you would expect with Supabase. So for example, in our WeWeb project, if we wanted users to be able to authenticate, so sign up and sign in using our Supabase, we can obviously do that. And if we wanted to get data from Supabase, then we can obviously also do that. So we could get some kind of data from our table in Supabase and then send this back to our interface. All with the WeWeb server in the middle if we want to add our own secure logic in some way, all within WeWeb. So that's what the Supabase integration can add to your project. Now, how do we install it in our WeWeb projects? To do so, you'll want to go to the Data and API tab. And from here, you'll want to go to this very bottom sub-tab, Integrations. Then select the Supabase integration. And here you can choose to add the integration. And then you can simply press Connect Supabase. And from here, you'll be prompted to go through the SSO process with Supabase. So you can simply authorize access. And then once you're brought back to WeWeb, you can choose which project you want to use for your editor environment in WeWeb and for the production environment of your live application. For my case, I'm just going to choose the editor environment for now. So I'll choose this Supabase project I have. You can choose a branch if you wish. And then importantly, you'll need to select your secret key. And then if you wish, you can hook up a custom domain. Once you're done, you can press Create. And so that is now hooked up. So if I switch back to the Data and API tab, now in integrations, we have our Supabase integration added to our project. So this now means we can get data from our Supabase, but there's one last thing we need to do to enable authentication, and that is in the authentication sub-tab, we need to connect the Supabase authentication system. So again, I can select this, and because I just set up that Supabase connection, this is already pre-populated, so I can simply press continue, and then just like that, that is set up. And so quite simply, that is how we can install the Supabase integration and the Supabase authentication system into our WeWeb project. And lastly, let's get on to the good stuff, how we can create secure table views and APIs on top of Supabase. So let's first discuss table views. So in my interface here, I have this project management app. So this page is supposed to show projects. And in my Supabase here, you can see I have a bunch of tables, but one of the tables I have is projects here. And if I go into this table, you can see I've got a couple of records here. And so one, how can I easily show this data in my interface? And then two, how could I set up some kind of access restrictions on this data? Well, if I switch back to WeWeb and I go to the Data and API tab, if I go to tables here, now when I go to create a table, I have the ability here to choose Supabase as the source of data for my new table. So I could simply select Supabase. I can then choose the table that I want to link from Supabase. In my case, it will be projects. And I then at the bottom here have two handy toggles. For this first one, for fetching all views via the front end, I recommend you leave this as the default, so I recommend you leave it toggled off. But if you're curious what this does, let me quickly explain. So I mentioned here that with the Supabase integration, what basically happens is that when you want to get data from Supabase, your interface first calls the WeWeb server, and then the WeWeb server then gets the data from Supabase. Now, this can be super handy if you have it set up this way, because it means the server acts as the kind of middleman, which means then in the server that if you wanted to set up some kind of custom security policies, you could do that. However, if you want your table view to completely bypass this WeWeb server middleman and instead have your interface call Supabase directly when it gets the data for that table view, then you could enable this toggle if you wanted to. However, as I say, it would then mean you couldn't enforce any custom security restrictions within WeWeb. You would need to then make sure that all of your RLS policies in Supabase are set up as you need them. And this last toggle can be quite handy. It will pre-create some API endpoints in your WeWeb backend that will let you interact with your Supabase table. So creating a new record, deleting a record, etc. And you'll see in just a second what these API endpoints look like. So here I can now press continue. And now, as you can see, I have a table view set up in WeWeb that is getting all of the data from that project's table. And the super handy thing about this now is that I can take advantage of WeWeb's table view system to set up different filtered table views, set up table views that restrict data to certain users, anything that comes with WeWeb's table views system. So for example, I could click new view to create a new table view. And for now, as an example, I'll just call this all projects. And so then if I switch back to the interface, as I say, this page was supposed to show all of those projects from Supabase. And so I already have a grid set up to display them. And so I could go onto my grid here. I could delete this old table view that I had. And for the items, I can now bind it to the data I get from this table view. So if I bind it here, as you can see, we're now getting all of that data from the table view, which is coming from Supabase. However, if I wanted to, I could now set up secure filtering on top of this. So let's say in this table view, I only want to show records to users where the visibility of the record is set to public. Well, what I can do is I can click configuration here. I can configure a filter and I could add a condition and I could say where visibility is equal to public, like so. And then if I save this, you can see the data updates accordingly. And if I switch back to the interface and I refresh this so it reloads the data, you can see I only now see that record where the visibility was public. And remember, this table view is completely secure because we have our interface and we have our WeWeb server that acts as the middleman to Supabase. This filtering we just set up in the configuration panel is all happening in our WeWeb server, which means these filters are completely secure. None of our users could maliciously edit this. And so whenever we use this table view in our interface, it's completely secure. But again, remember, this is only possible if when you're first setting up the table, you have this fetch all views via the front end toggle disabled. If this is enabled, then any filters you set up won't be secure. And the last thing I want to draw your attention to is this button in the top right that is currently set to public. If I open this, this gives me access to the security panel where I can control who can access this table view. So we set up our filter here to only get records whose visibility was public, and that's all well and good. But right now, because this is set to public, this means that anyone in the entire world can access this, and they could then see any projects we have that have their visibility as public. And maybe we want to only show these records to users who are signed into our application. Well, we can very easily do this. So if I open this, here you can control exactly who can access this table view. So in my case, because I only want users who are signed in to access this table view, I could now switch this to authenticated, and only users who are signed in would be able to access this data. And to test this, if I switch back to the interface and I was to refresh the page, as you can see, I don't have any data, and that's exactly as expected because I'm not signed in. So in our app, to allow users to log in or sign up with Supabase, I could set up an authentication page. So I've already got a sign in page and a sign up page pre-created. So I'll go to my sign up page. I have a form here that lets people sign up. And on the form itself, if I go to the form submission workflow, at the very top here, I'm just going to go to the from authentication folder. And you can see I have all these Supabase authentication actions. And so I could choose sign up with email. And then for these two values, I could bind them to be whatever the user has typed in my interface. So for the email, I could bind it to be the email input value, and then likewise for the password. So if I now put this into preview mode and sign up, I will have been signed up, and as you can see now, we can see the data on this projects page because we are now authenticated, and that table view required authentication, so it's returning us that data now that we're authenticated. And you can also see here, I'm signed in here as the Matthew+1 at weweb.io email that I just signed up with. So that sign up with Supabase is now connected. And so if I wanted to now, I could go to my sign in page, and on the workflow of the form on this page, I could use the sign in with Supabase action to set up the same authentication logic. So now that I am signed up and authenticated into an account, if I switch back to the Data and API tab, this table view is set up with filters, and it has our security policy set up where only authenticated users can access it. But how would we now create logic on top of Supabase using an API endpoint in WeWeb and secure that API endpoint? Well, if you remember, when we first set up this table, we had this toggle at the bottom, toggled on for pre-creating API endpoints that would interact with the table. So in our case, the projects table in Supabase. And so if I switch over to the backend workflow subtab here, in the API endpoints panel, here you can see we have a Supabase projects folder. And in here now, there's a bunch of API endpoints pre-created that let me interact with my projects table in Supabase. So for example, in the create row API endpoint, you can see here, it takes in a bunch of input parameters, and this is linked to the columns of that projects table. So if I wanted to, from my interface, I could call this API, pass in all the values I want to use for this new record in my projects table, and then that new record would get added into my projects table. So this is pretty neat. Essentially, in WeWeb backend workflows, when you have that Supabase integration added, you can set up logic on top of Supabase and do it all in this visual way. But so how do we secure this logic? Well, a good example for this would be this delete row by ID API that was created. So this is set up to take in an ID of a record and then delete whatever record in the projects table has that matching ID. And so in API endpoints, like we could with table views, we have this button in the top right that we can click, and it will open this pop-up. And from this pop-up, we can control whether this API endpoint is publicly accessible or it's only accessible to users who are signed in to our application. And so this is preset to authenticated, which is good. However, deleting records is still a pretty sensitive action. I don't just want anyone who's signed in to be able to delete whatever record they want. Now, if I switch back to Supabase, in my projects table here, you can see I have a user ID column that links a given user to a project. And so in my case, when someone tries to delete a project, I want to make sure that the project belongs to them before they're allowed to delete that project. And so if I open this security pop-up again, you can see at the bottom, we have the option to add middleware for more control. And in this case, we can utilize middleware to control if the person is allowed to delete the record they're trying to delete. Now, if you aren't too sure what middleware is, then I created a video diving deeper into securing your APIs and table views. And in that video, I cover in more depth what middleware is. I'll have a pop-up that appears somewhere here with the video link. And also in the description, I'll include a link to that video, and it'll go straight to the timestamp where I start discussing middleware in more depth. So now I'm not going to talk too much about what middleware is. However, we are going to create one to, in this case, control if the user is allowed to delete the project. So on the left here, I'm going to switch to the middlewares panel. I'm going to create a new middleware, and I will call it check project belongs to user. And so essentially now in this backend workflow, I want to get the project the person is trying to delete, then check if it belongs to the person, and then if it does, I can let them progress, and if not, I will send them an error message saying you're unauthorized to do this. Now, the first thing we need is we need to know what project the person is trying to delete. And so to do this, we need to create an input parameter. So I'll click here, I will then add a parameter, and to identify the project, we need the ID of that project. So I will call this project ID. And just so we have a value here that we can test with, I'm going to switch back to Supabase, and I will just grab the ID of this record and then paste this into the test value like so. And so now we know what project the person is trying to get when this middleware is called, so we now need to get that project. So I can add an action, go to Supabase, go to database, and we want to select from Supabase, so we want to get a record, choose my projects table, and for the filter, I can add a filter, add a condition, and I can say where the field equals and bind it to be the value of that project ID parameter. And so if I test this in isolation to make sure it does indeed get that record correctly, we can see it's getting that correct record. And so the very last thing we need to do is that in this record we get, you can see we have the value of that user ID column of the record. And so we need to check if this user ID belongs to the user who is ultimately calling this middleware. And so in my true or false split, I can bind the condition for this. And what I want to check is whether or not in the result of this select, if this user ID equals the ID of the user calling this. And how I can get the ID of the user calling this is if I switch to this authentication tab, in this user object, I have the information of the current user, so the user that's calling this. And so I could bind it to be this user ID. And just to reinforce the point, whenever you use this data that's in this authentication tab of the binding window, this is the data of the current user. And so right now, the ID you see here is obviously the one that belongs to this Matthew plus WeWeb.io account that I'm signed in as. However, this would dynamically update to be whichever user is calling this. So that is now set up. And as you can see, it's already returning false because in Supabase, I don't belong to this record that we're using as the test record. And so since this is returning false, here it would branch off to this error response. So it would say, I'm unauthorized to do this. However, if the current user does belong to this record, then it would progress and basically call whichever API we have this middleware set up on. So that middleware is created, and so I can now set this up on that delete record API. So if I switch back to API endpoints, and in this delete row by ID API that I want to control, I can add middleware here. I can select the middleware that we just created, and here you can see now it pulls in any parameters that have been set up on that middleware. So we have this project ID parameter. So here I could bind this, and I could just bind it to be the value of whatever ID gets passed to this API. And so we can test this. So to test this properly, right now, I am signed in as the Matthew +1 at WeWeb.io account. And so in Supabase, I'm going to link one of these projects to the account that I'm currently signed in as, because that way I can test if I try and delete a project that I don't belong to, does it let me do it? It should hopefully not let me do it. And then if I try and delete the project that I am assigned to, it should work. So I'll switch to the authentication tab here, and here is my user ID. So I will copy this ID and switch back to my projects table. And then so for Gala Analytics here, I will just paste in my ID like so. And so now let's try and delete a record that I don't belong to. So if I first try and delete this Athena website project, so as the test value for this ID parameter, I can paste in that ID. If I test this, we should get some kind of error response because I don't belong to this record that I'm trying to delete. So if I test this, you can indeed see in the corner here, we got this error message. And so if I now change the ID that we're passing in to be this Gala Analytics record that I am assigned to, if I now test this, this should work. And as you can see, this did all succeed, and that project has now been deleted because I was allowed to do so. The record belonged to me, and the middleware we set up here worked as expected. And so that pretty much covers everything. We've covered what the Supabase integration does. So essentially when you install it, you have that WeWeb server that acts as the middleman, and it's pretty nice because it lets you set up security and different policies and filters all within WeWeb without having to touch Supabase. We then covered how to install it. So 1, installing the Supabase integration, and then 2, the Supabase authentication system. And lastly, we covered how to create secure table views and APIs on top of your Supabase. And now, one last thing I didn't mention here is that one of the very cool things about using this Supabase integration inside of WeWeb is that you have a handy way to hook other external services up into your backend logic. So for example, in this API where we delete a row from Supabase, maybe at the very end here, you want to send a message to your Slack saying this record has been deleted by XYZ person. Or maybe you want to track the event in Segment, for example. Well, in the integrations panel, where we originally added Supabase from, there's a bunch of other integrations, and when you add one of these integrations, like with Supabase, you'll have access to all of the actions of that integration, all within this add an action menu, meaning you could chain integrations. So you could chain an action from Supabase, then chain an action from Segment, etc. And so if you'd like to learn more about all of the possible integrations, then there'll be a link in the description to the documentation of all of our integrations. So that covers everything. As I say, RLS in Supabase can be an absolute nightmare if you don't have a technical background. And so building these workflows all inside of WeWeb to add those visual layers of security can be a massive lifesaver.